Happy New Year, and we want to close out the new year this New Year's Eve with our top 5 favorite movies of 2018. I'm going to go through my top 5, my wife is going to go through her top 5, and we want to go through your top 5 in the comments. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
And these are our top 5 favorite movies of 2018. I'm so excited to end this year with a positive note and go through some of the best movies, or the movies we thought were the best of 2018. And I can't wait, we cannot wait to hear from you and have a conversation with you in the comments about your top 5 favorite movies of 2018. Little disclaimer, only one, I think, fell through the cracks for us, and that was Bumblebee.
Yes, well, there's a couple other movies that fell through the cracks, but they haven't gotten amazing reviews anywhere, so I'm not really worried
we
about
did not see
Holmes and Watson.
Oh, and those reviews are hilariously bad, and now, hearing all these horrible reviews, I'm curious to see it for a whole different reason.
We like bad movies.
Oh, man. All right, Laura, kick us off.
All right, so for number 5, I did A Quiet Place.
That's a good one.
I was surprised by this movie. I kind of remember maybe seeing one trailer. It has a Signs feel, like from Mel Gibson with Signs. That kind of intensity. I thought it was a little more predictable than I would like. I got irritated in it, but I still enjoyed it because I was passionate and I cared about what was going to happen to them. So
yeah, that was
5.
good.
But I'm sorry, nobody can have a baby that fast and cut the umbilical cord and have the baby cleaned up. That's just, I'm sorry. So that's why it's only 5. No, I'm kidding. For number 4, I picked The Equalizer 2.
That's a good one too.
Yes. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first one. It was a lot of fun. I don't think it holds a candle to John Wick when it comes to that type of movie, but I like the action in it. It was a lot of fun, and it's pretty, it held up really well to the first one. So it wasn't because a lot of 2s are worst.
Yeah, that's true.
So
and it did good, yeah.
I was happy. I enjoyed it. A little predictable, but it was good.
My number 5 is Equalizer 2. Oh. So just going right off what she just said, I really enjoyed this one a lot. It's funny because, I started doing this channel, and I started this channel after the first movie came out, and I never saw the first movie. And I think it must have just, what trailers, advertising, whatever, must have gone in one ear and out the other. Because I had never seen it, and it wasn't that familiar to me. But when I was watching the trailers for the second one, I was like, I want to talk about that on my channel. So I went and watched the first one, and it blew me away. And then the second one was, just as good, in my opinion. So I really enjoyed both of those movies, and I thought Equalizer 2 was a fantastic action movie in 2018. Number 4, Black Panther. I love superhero movies. The superhero genre is just my absolute favorite genre next to just any dinosaur movie. So I just love superhero movies so much, and Black Panther was great. I love the MCU. I love how they've built up this universe and connected us to these characters, and I just thought Black Panther, when it came out in February for the MCU, it had a different look and a different feel, and I just think it's a blast. I think it's a fun movie. It's just one of those popcorn movies that I could just sit down and watch anytime and have a blast when it's on.
So for me, number 3 is a dual one. I couldn't.
Cheater.
Well, it's just hard because I feel the same about both of them. Aquaman and Black Panther.
And they're similar. They're very similar.
Yeah, they have a similar feel because it's an origin story type movie. One's DC, one's Marvel.
Yeah, but hidden city, technology, beyond human stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was, initially when I came out of Black Panther, I loved it. Initially, when I came out of Aquaman, I loved it. It is a B movie at first that turns into an A movie. Black Panther had slow moments that moved into awesome, high-packed, action. I can't think of the right word. Sorry. And I enjoyed both of them on an equal. I can't pick one over the other, so that's why they're tied at 3rd. And then for number 2, this one was my surprise one, was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That is a great one.
Yeah, I am one of the few people that probably thought the trailers looked weird and hokey, probably because it was a different kind of animation than what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
When you see animated movies, I'm not really sure, but I don't know, I felt the pacing was off in the trailers. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't see the right trailer.
Because I don't want to freak him out.
So I went in with relatively low expectations, and then I was even more nervous because I had low expectations and it was getting amazing reviews. And I am glad that I was wrong when I went into it because it was awesome. I had a good time with it. I'm ready to see it again, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend it.
my number 3, no tie here, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
We're gonna have like the same top 4 or 5 movies.
What?
Okay.
Who cares?
I know.
My gosh.
Just means we have similar tastes.
There are just certain movies that really stood out this year, and I'm the exact opposite of you, whereas I was beyond hyped going in because I thought all the trailers looked fantastic. And so my fear was, can it live up to the expectations I'm now setting for it? Because I don't know if you've noticed this, but I can get super excited about superhero movies and maybe set the bar a little unrealistically high. And I was really scared that I did this with Spider-Verse, and I was so happy that it lived up. Like, it lived up to the hype. I thought this movie was fantastic. It's got to be one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. It's out right now. It did a great job bringing in so many characters and getting me attached to each one and continuing moving the story forward. Like, it just had so many pluses for it. If this is a movie that you have not seen this year, it comes with a super high recommendation. Number 2, Aquaman. This might be a self-fulfilling prophecy because I love DC. I am a DC. DC is just my favorite. I've been a little bit harsh and critical of the DCEU, but it's only because I love DC. So I kind of been up when they're up, I've been down when they're down, and I just wanted Aquaman to be so good. I was willing it to be good. I was telling myself in my head, Durbin, when you see this movie, you're just gonna love it. And I did. It was fantastic. So it comes out like this high because I was just so happy and so relieved with how much I loved this movie. I feel like this movie is really kind of like a mindless movie. Like, you don't have to think too much. It does have a few deep things and a few epic things going on, but it's not a movie that you can just pop it in and have fun with it. Bright colors, tons of action.
Yes.
And when we were watching it the second time through, I couldn't help but note in my second viewing that the first half is really kind of hokey and very B-movie.
Yes.
And then it's the second, but none of it bad. It's just, you know, solid B. And then it's the whole second half of the movie when he's getting the trident and he's taking his place and all that stuff.
Well, I thought all that underwater stuff looked amazing.
It did.
The trailers made it look so bad.
She didn't like the trailers there again.
I sat there and I'm like, oh my gosh, some of the scenes where they're running or so, I'm like, oh no, I was so worried. And so my bar was really low, which is probably why I liked it so much.
Well, I still definitely think there's quite a few scenes in the above water segments that look very green screen.
Yes.
But all of the underwater scenes look utterly fantastic. But just overall, the movie, it's an A movie for me.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad because I love DC and I wanted it to be an A movie. So let's hit our honorable mentions before we dive into our number 1.
So I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Because we binged it like a movie.
That's true.
Daredevil season 3.
Yeah.
So this would probably actually be in my top 5, but since it wasn't technically a movie, I'm just putting an honorable mention. If you haven't watched Daredevil, do it. It is awesome.
Oh, it's awesome. You know, with her love of Marvel shows and stuff like that, I know I married the right woman.
And then my other honorable mention was Incredibles 2. I really enjoyed Incredibles 2. Not as much as the first one.
Nothing beats the first one. So
no, the first one was like, it kicked off the superhero genre again.
Well, it was already going.
I'm just kidding. It didn't really, but it's like, there was something about it that was just so much fun. The first one. And the second one, I enjoyed it a lot, but nowhere near as much as the first time, which is why it's only honorable mention.
Well, my honorable mentions are as follows. Mission Impossible 6. I just thought it was fun. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom definitely has to be there. I mean, I know how weak it is. I really do. There's a lot of stupid things in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. But let's break it down. It's a Jurassic Park franchise movie, and it's got dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Boom. We're done. It's an honorable mention. I enjoy that movie. I don't care about its weaknesses. I enjoy that movie. And then I have Ant-Man and the Wasp. That was just a really good one.
I completely forgot.
Well, you know, it may not be the most memorable movie of 2018, but after a certain dark and heavy MCU movie, this was a nice light movie to come right after that, and it was a lot of fun.
Good as the first.
And then I have to give a huge shout out to The Death of Superman, that new animated movie that came out. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait for its sequel, The Reign of Superman, and The Reign of the Superman in 2019. So I'm super excited about that, but I really did enjoy that movie. If you haven't seen that one, it's definitely worth watching.
So I think we have the same number 1.
We have the exact same number 1 because I married the right woman here. Number 1, Infinity War.
Fun isn't something one considers when balancing the universe, but this does put a smile on my face.
Kind of like Into the Spider-Verse, I was hyped beyond hyped. Not just because the trailers were fantastic, but because we have 10 years of build-up for the MCU, and this movie did not fail to deliver for me.
It was well orchestrated with all the movies leading into it.
And
it was great and well done, and I felt like every character, although nobody was in the limelight. Well, no, some of them were in the limelight more than others, but it's just, I didn't feel like it pulled away. I felt like all the characters were there equally in a way.
Well, it's because they broke them up into those groups.
Yes.
And so you're following throughout the movie just each individual group of heroes. And
I
that
felt
was
like
so
everybody
smart.
got a good amount of screen time. Yeah.
And everything was so well written. I mean, spoiler alert, that Spider-Man has spider senses and he's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I'm sorry. But I mean, just that moment with Spider-Man, it like breaks my heart every time. Get a good little man cry. Well, not really, but I like to pretend I get a good little man cry there every time that happens. But it's just, it was so well balanced between its humor and staying true to all these characters while being a little bit darker, a bit more gritty, and a bit more drama.
It was great.
Everything about it just flowed, and that just stood out as my favorite movie of the year, probably mostly because you couldn't have had a movie with more hype behind it, and then it delivered.
Endgame, I think, has a lot to live up to because there's so much hype for it because it has to follow that.
Yeah.
And if it falters even a little bit, it's going to get torn apart.
But I don't think it will falter.
I don't think it will either. I really believe
it's going to hold up and it's going to deliver.
I think it's going to be most people's most anticipated movies for next year.
And I think it might be most people's favorite movie of 2019.
We will see.
Yeah, we shall find out. Now, she did her 5. I did my 5. What are your top 5 movies for 2018? Be sure to leave that in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button, become a Durbanian. That way, when we drop our most anticipated movies of 2019, you'll be notified as soon as that video drops. For our next ranking video, for our next movie review, theological analysis, or anything else we do here, hit that bell so you're notified as soon as that drops. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.